Hello, Shooting Gallery. I am Fiendly, and I'm going to be showing off Deathsmiles, a shooter designed by the developer known as Cave. Also created Dodon Pachi and probably other games. They're very famous in the Shooting Gallery scene. And basically, I warned you this was going to happen. Said if no one else was going to show off Deathsmiles, I was going to have to, and it's unfortunate because I'm really bad at it, but I love this game. I do hope you'll be able to put up with a few mistakes. And if you're good at shooting games, I hope you'll be able to give me a few pointers after you watch this. So immediately we're faced with a ton of choices. We're going to be playing the Mega Black Label Xbox 360 version of the game. I'll get around to explaining exactly what that means eventually. And so, diving right into the character select. Windy is sort of the main character. Got a variety of options, but my favorite is Follette. She's French, so I can't possibly be saying that right. I'm pretty sure the entire French language doesn't have a non-silent T in it. But regardless, we start off with a choice of a couple of areas we can go to. We can also select our difficulty. I'm going to start off on level 1 and on the Forest of the Lost, because it has the best introductory cutscene. Yeah, you only get to see the introductory cutscene of the first level that you select, and the other ones, no one's dead by the time you get there. So I had to show that off. So this is a horizontal shooter, and enemies come in from both sides, which requires a lot of attention to really not get slaughtered horribly, and not so much on level 1 difficulty. This is pretty manageable, even for me. There's multiple kinds of shots. There is, what I'm doing right now is the strong shot. You get that by holding the fire button in the direction that you want to face. You can also do a normal shot. This is supposed to be done by tapping the fire button, but there's an auto fire set to the left and right triggers. Of course, I don't have left and right triggers. I'm playing this on an actual arcade stick at the moment. Maybe that's a big mistake, but it's pretty fun to play on the arcade stick since I have it. There's a third type of shot. Not going to get to show it off now, though, because Wispy Woods is here. These first batch of stages are extremely short. They're also quite easy. I should not be getting hit. But one of the, probably the single biggest difference about level 1 difficulty is that enemies have just absurdly low health. Makes things rather easy. Bosses also have very weak patterns for the most part. So we're going to bump it up to level 2 for the graveyard. Our second set of levels. We are eventually going to have to play through all of these, so it doesn't matter too much for our purposes. The order we choose, apparently it affects scoring a great deal. I have some suspicions as to why, but I honestly wouldn't know. So we've got 1,000 items in our counter there in the corner. So I'm going to activate power-up mode. That's going to cause us to fire so many bullets that it slows the game down really bad. It will allow us to just annihilate everything on screen. Also, activating power-up mode clears the screen as though you set off a bomb. Power-up mode is sort of the great equalizer because there's a lot going on in this game. You need every advantage you can get. So, for strong shot, the one that I prefer, it locks your familiar in place, which gives me better control over what's going on, I think. But sometimes it makes me make horribly inefficient use of the familiar. That said, so can the light shot, the normal shot, as it were. There's also a third type of shot that I mentioned, targeting shot, by holding both directions at the same time. It sets that little aura around my familiar. I didn't get to show it off too well there, but... So, another boss already. Sort of, wising from his glaive. Still pretty easy. Still got hit. I've warned you, I'm really bad at these shooters. Now, if you didn't know it, our hitbox is the tiny heart in the very center of our character. Almost certain I would have gotten hit by that very last one had I not killed the boss. Ooh, gotta get those items. And we're looping back already. I'm actually gonna play this one on level 3 against my better judgment. I'm gonna try to stick to level 3 for the most part, here on out. So we've got between 500 and 1,000 items, which means we can still activate power-up mode. It just won't be quite as powerful as if we had waited for 1,000 items. Even still, just brutalizing the screen. As soon as it wears off, though, we're going to see a little bit about what level 3 has got going on for it. I honestly thought that guy had much more HP than he did there. Maybe it's a later ogre who does that. Maybe that is also affected by stage order, the difficulty of enemies. Honestly can't say for sure. I've done a ton of research on this game, but I have not played it very much. Which, that's probably the ideal way to get good at it. And I tend to practice it quite a bit. Oh, this guy, yes, he's got 1,000,000 HP. He does not have 1,000,000 HP. Follett is a very strong character. Not quite the strongest. There was a character who was nerfed in this version of the game. But I believe Follett is an unlockable in the arcade original. So we're fighting the Grim Reaper. Within, I think, about 5 minutes of starting the game. It's always a good sign. I don't want to activate power-up mode because I'll just kill him before we get to see what this move is all about. That move is not good news. Now that's what makes showing off this game even possible for me. The fact that when you die, you can respawn on the spot every single time. And another complicated pattern of attacks from this boss. Okay. I really did not know what to do there. I was about to drop some bombs. Cave games are sort of notorious for just covering the screen in a wall of pink and purple. And occasionally other beautifully complicated patterns. And I think it goes without saying, this game looks really, really nice. Just the visual design in general. It goes a long way. It's really the main reason that I like it. It's also got a vague horror theme, most obviously prevalent in the first stage we saw. Back in power-up mode. Power-up mode is activated by the same button combination that activates targeting mode, which I mentioned very briefly. Sort of why we don't see targeting mode too often. This slowdown is saving my life. Okay. I'm past the stone spewer. We'll life up. So we have a health bar. There's no lives, you only get 1 life. But like I said, infinite continues. Each successive version of this game that has been released has had a lower penalty for death. Mostly because it's also been a much more difficult game each time. I don't know why I thought standing in the lava would not be a problem. I didn't even have a plan of approach there. Oh. Okay. I've always been very bad at shooting games, so this is nothing new for me. For the most part, I haven't even really tried or actually liked shooting games. Although one of my favorite games of all time is a vertical shooter for the NES, The Guardian Legend. And I've always been terrible at that, even though it's much less complicated than this game is. So I don't know why I think I have a hope in hell here. That said, I am a deity at rhythm games. The entire Rock Band and Guitar Hero series. I could play any of those games in my sleep. It's not even bragging, that's a dead genre, so who cares at this point. Point is, I have the dedication to waste a lot of time getting good at a game. If I really like it, and I really do like this game. I'll get rid of these bubbles before they fall on me. It's Dragon v Dragon. What do you know, Dragon wins. Go Squeedly. One of very few horizontally oriented stages. We only have 1 choice here. Except for difficulty, I could have chosen a lower difficulty. But there's something I want to show off if you do enough consecutive level 3 stages. Powering up again. I guess it's not a full screen clear unless you power up at 1,000 points. It just sets out a certain radius that destroys everything. Okay, so this is about to wear off. Show off targeting mode once I get a couple of skulls, which I do. And if I don't die here... Rough section, okay. So targeting mode, you hold both buttons, you set your familiar behind you and off screen so it can't actually target anything, and then you die. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. Okay. For some reason, my familiar likes to go way off screen when I activate target mode. Okay, there it is. So it costs skulls, and everything your familiar targets gets the hell blasted out of it. So here we go, I'm starting to work out the mechanics decently. Just in time for the cow boss. This game is not deadly serious. I have an extreme fondness for comedically themed horror games. And horror things in general, horror comedies. My favorite movie is Reanimator, so... For a joke boss, this cow is doing me some harm. Now it's moving into its final form. Did not make ideal use of its cubes, I gotta say. It's about to start dropping Tetris pieces on us. They were gonna block us in. That pattern's actually quite difficult. So only 1 choice. I'm gonna stick to level 3. We are not ready for 999, which is an exclusive feature to the Mega Black Label version. I suppose while I'm here I could explain versions. There was originally the arcade version, released in Japanese arcades, of course. Then they re-released it for arcades. That was the Mega Black Label version, new content and slightly tweaked for balance and stuff like that. Then both of those were remade for the Xbox 360 with considerably improved graphics and some slightly changed control schemes. Then they did a 1.1 Arrange, which has new features and new content, new enemy patterns, I believe. For those versions are the 1.1 versions. Those are only on the Xbox 360. They never came out in arcades. So there's only two versions of those, the Mega Black Label and the original. And all 6 versions of the game are on the disc here, the Xbox 360 disc. I do not recommend playing the arcade versions that are on the disc, because the resolution on them is ridiculously low. Basically takes up about half the screen. It's also very pixelated. Oh, we got a cutscene. Get to see our character's French accent. And our friend Bobo gets to get a few lines. There's actually an absurd amount of backstory for this game, and it is exclusively in the game's instruction manual. None of it is relevant to the actual game, not even the story of the actual game, except as it pertains to a single character who we won't be seeing for a very long time. Okay, I tried to sneak into that one last open spot. So that's a difficult pattern, and it's only getting harder. This is sort of the boss of the first half of the game or so. The first chapter, you might call it. After we clear this out, it's going to get a lot harder. That's right, a lot harder than this. Why I haven't used the bomb yet is baffling to me. You are right to be confused, Bobo. She's actually a playable character here in the Mega Black Label version. Thanking us for promising patricide. So, we've got EX levels here. The Ice Paddles is exclusive to Mega Black Label once again, or we can head straight for the castle. For this run, I'm going to do that. If there are future runs, if I actually get good enough to show off this game again, we'll check out the EX levels. And so we got to briefly meet all of the game's main characters. I first started playing this game, I thought having all these gothic Lolita characters firing bullets all over the place was very strange and unique. Turns out not to be the case at all, of course. Touhou's a much more popular game that utilizes that very same idea. But basically, all the characters we just met, they were lost children on Earth. They got in a life-threatening situation, and then they appeared in this world, which is a parallel world called Gilverado. It's stuck in the 20th century, and yeah, magic exists here, as do a lot of monsters. These monsters are actually from a different realm, though, which was opened up by Sakura's father, they just explained. Sakura's father being the one character of import in this entire story. I figured I was going to kill that guy before I bumped into him. So another power up. We got the skulls just pouring in. Now I recall, maybe after we beat this stage, I don't know, I think I might have locked us out from seeing the thing that I wanted to show off. Which, by the way, is called Death Mode, so I'm probably not the one to be showing that off, but there you go, because I'm dying in non-death mode. Mary's back. Oh, here's her Tetris move. Perhaps shooting games in general might be better likened to shooting or puzzle games than rhythm games. Which, if so, I love puzzle games. Like the classic Tetris style. In fact, my jam is Puyo Puyo. I really wish more people played Puyo these days. Actually, the creator of Puyo is the same guy who created Guardian Legend. So there's your link right there. This is an extremely elaborate final stage. Oh, death mode is... it enables suicide bullets, so that every enemy we kill fires suicide bullets at us. Which, if you made it this far into the dregs of the shooting gallery, surely you know what suicide bullets are. And those bullets are unique in the sense that they can be blocked by colliding with the familiar. So, once you get into death mode, you have to start playing the game differently. You basically want to do what I'm doing right now, and put the familiar right out in front of you like a shield. And playing the EX levels that I skipped, that, didn't want to press start there, that will send you into death mode 2 and 3 if you play both of them. I don't know the specific details on what death mode 2 and 3 entail, but it can't possibly be any good. Also not any good is difficulty level 999, which, as you can imagine, is about 333 times harder than this is. This game came highly recommended to me when it first came out in America in 2010. A lot of people who did not typically play shooting games recommended this for people who do not typically play shooting games. I forget specifically why. Could just be the fact that it's really beautifully designed and you can tell that a lot of love went into it. And pretty much just appreciate it for that. But it's certainly not a particularly easy game. You do get to pick your difficulty, and you could just run through this whole game on level 1 and it would be a breeze. But it also lacks structure, I feel. As far as I know, the only additional piece of unlockable content that you can get is achieved by once CCing the entire game On difficulty, level 999. I've also heard that you have to play the entire game on 999 without ever once getting hit at all. But I've only heard that once, and I've found no corroborating evidence. A lot of conflicting evidence about this game. So it's arcane. It's hard to figure out what's going on. There's so many different versions where things are unique to each. And in fact, all the things I've told you about the shooting mechanics, how shooting the strong shot will lock my familiar in place, and targeting mode centers around the familiar, that's all unique to Follette. Other characters, that will be slightly different. Some of them have unique attributes in regards to that. Got myself cornered real bad there. Gotta blast the rest of these dancing couples. Really don't seem like monsters, except for the fact that they're firing bullets on us. Oh, and here he is. Whoa. I have no idea why Sakura's father is named Jitterbug, but I love it. What I don't love is how much he's filling the screen with purple. Now there's a mechanic where I don't know if it's in this version of the game, actually. It might just be in the 1.1 arrangement. Where if you put your familiar inside of the boss, and oh god. If you put your familiar inside of the boss and fire weak shots at them, not the strong shots, they will... you'll build up your item counter. Good god. I believe once you get to this point in the game, you no longer have to worry about the 1cc that I was just talking about to unlock the secret boss. I could be wrong on that, though. And, yeah, good god. But he's down. He probably had a few more patterns left in him. Tyranno Satan. Here he is. Big man himself. So Tyranno Satan is probably the best thing that has ever appeared in a video game ever. And he's gonna kill me a lot, because he's absurdly hard. Look at this. First use of a bomb in the game. I always forget that I have bombs. And I don't know how, if at all, you regenerate bombs after using them. I'm really, really bad at navigating these patterns. That seems to be the main thing you gotta learn if you're gonna even attempt to play shooting games. And that's probably all practice. Okay. That was a really easy pattern. I'm not sure why I got hit there. Nor there. So yeah, Tyranno Satan. Phenomenal boss. Destroying me, as a final boss really should. I'm I'm lucky that I failed to activate death mode, which by the way is activated by completing 5 stages on level 3 difficulty. It's coming at me from every direction. I don't really know what I should be doing. Just that it's not this. Oh, the basic plot line is that we are lost children. We sorta died, sorta not. Found ourselves in this literal bullet hell. And then we got adopted by this guy who was himself a lost child many years ago. Became a powerful magician, not musician, here in Gilverado. And decided to turn a bunch of random near-dead girls into basically the Powerpuff Girls. He called them his angels, which could probably be creepier than it is, right? Yeah, it's not that bad. Good. So I'm just gonna die again. I'm gonna do the light attack because he moves slightly faster while doing that. I'm not gonna hit Satan as much. Quit mugging for the camera, Satan. So if I stay here... I survived a pattern! I did not survive that pattern. These do relatively low damage. His attacks, that is. My attacks as well, but we still killed him. Glorious. So we actually have a choice what our ending is. We could go to the real world where Jitterbug just went, and we did, because I waited too long. But that's fine. And there you go, there's no bad ending. Even with how many times I died. So, hopefully I will have reason to revisit this game. If nothing else, I've been very glad to have the chance to show it off for the thread, because really, if you appreciate shooting games, you gotta see this thing, right? Quite impressive, I thought. Bit heavy-handed at the ending there. Sort of lost the, you know, comedy overtones. and revealed the Halloween theme of the entire game. This game actually did have a sequel, Deathsmiles 2, which is Christmas themed. It is available in the US exclusively as a download for the Xbox 360, with no attempt made at translating it into English. And it costs $30, which is a bit rough for that sort of thing. It also has polygonal graphics. It doesn't have these beautiful sprites that this game has. It looks more like R-Type, which, if I hadn't seen this game before seeing that one, I'd think it would look fine, but it looks a lot worse than Deathsmiles. Which is unfortunate, but even still I'm tempted, so we'll see. Oh, this game is available in the US exclusively as a special edition that comes with a faceplate for the Xbox 360, which, despite having very, very rarely played this game, adorns my 360 right now. This game brings back some memories. I used to play it sometimes before, sometimes after recording my original Let's Play sessions with my co-commentator. So yeah, good times. And if you're good at shooting games, I hope that you will provide me with some specific advice of where to go from here. I'm gonna practice, of course. Do the classic get better scrub as best that I can. But if you have any specific advice, I would really love to hear it. And yeah, if you help me get good enough to see the game again, hopefully you want that, and that will happen. Either way, I greatly hope you've enjoyed Deathsmiles.